All right, so now that you know how to use a digital caliper, the next thing that we want to do is actually dimension or actually measure our leaking cube here to get some practice using it. So what you're going to do first is you're going to create a couple thumbnail sketches. I've got one created right over here, and this thumbnail sketch includes uh, measurements for our holes. So we're going to do the inner diameter of the hole. We're talking about the measurement that's going across, so that's an internal measurement. We're going to figure out the hole depth of another side. We're going to measure the inner and the outer diameter of this little stem that's sticking up. And then we're also going to measure the inside right over here. And that would be the space. I call that the inner space. So that's going to be the first one. We're going to draw this one again, and we're going to do the external measurements as well. So, you might be wondering, well, how come I don't use a piece of isometric paper? And the answer is sometimes you don't have it. So it's always good to kind of practice being able to create, 2D drawings and 3D drawings just by freehanding them. So I'm just going to draw this out real quick. Doesn't have to be perfect because it is a thumbnail sketch. All right, kind of general practice. We talked about making some little lines back and forth as we're going versus making one big one. All right, and now I'm just going to try to draw something very similar. So I'm almost, trying to mirror what an isometric would look like, but again, it doesn't have to be perfect. There we go. So we got a basic cube. Now I'm going to draw the little stem that's sticking up over here. So that's going to be something like this. And as I'm looking at it, I can see that there's this little kind of circle over here, and it looks almost like an oval from my perspective. So I've got, this over here. Something like that. Again, doesn't have to be perfect. But there we go. So now we got that sticking up. And then also I've got, these little features right on the inside here. So I'm going to try to draw those in. So this kind of looks something like that. And then also, because this still looks kind of weird, I know that there's these little like curves and stuff right over here, which are actually the top part of the hole. So I'm just going to shadow that in a little bit, just to give it a little bit of texture. All right, just like that. Okay, so now we got another one drawn out. I still got to draw my two holes, so same thing over here, like so. All right, so again, first thumbnail sketch is going to show the inner diameter of a hole, the hole depth, the inner and outer diameter of this over here, this little part that sticks up, and the inner space. This next thumbnail sketch is going to show our height, width, and depth in a couple different spots. So I'm going to start over here, lay out some extension and dimension lines, and that's going to be for the width. This is going to be for the height right over here. All right, so I'm going to measure up and down. So on our actual cube, that would be this one right here. I want to measure the depth, which is going front to back. Remember, this is our front view. And then what I'm also going to put on here is this measurement as well. So I want to measure from the bottom of the cube all the way up to the stem as well, all the way up to this top portion. So I'm just going to put this one. This is going to come right over here, and I'm just going to go from the back over there, just like so. All right, so first thing you want to do is you want to create these two drawings right over here. Once you create these two drawings, next step is to do your actual measurements, use your digital caliper, and figure out what each of these are going to be. All right, so get going on it. Good luck.